Hey, this is Aaron Shaw with another edition of Coach's Corner. This is our weekly newsletter on some tips and tricks to stay as healthy and active as possible, and where I cover a bunch of topics from lifting techniques to general fitness and some nutrition. And today I want to talk a little bit more about nutrition. Specifically, I've had a few people ask me about carbo-loading, which is taking in a bunch of carbohydrates in preparation for fitness event, oftentimes for a cardiovascular event like running or even skiing or going on a big hike, swimming. And let's kind of widen the view here a little bit and recognize that our main energy source comes from carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. And the body really prefers using carbohydrates as an energy source for exercise. Unfortunately, our body can only store so much of that and to have it readily available to use. And our body stores that in our liver and in our muscles. Once we burn through our storage, if we burn through that and we continue to try to do activity, we get what is, I don't know what the medical term I would really use, but really call it a bonk. So we call that bonking. And so, maybe you've experienced that before when you just haven't eaten enough, with or without activity, but definitely if you haven't eaten enough and you go out there and you try to exercise, you go for a long hike, didn't bring enough snacks along with you, and all of a sudden you feel your energy just gets zapped. You get performance starts to suffer. Your body actually starts to really kind of eat away at your muscles, if you will, and also you can even weaken your immune system. So there are consequences to trying to push through when you don't have this fuel source available to us. So we need to be thoughtful about how to make sure that we're maintaining that when we're doing activity. The good news is that assuming that you have the appropriate amount of calories in your diet, that if you have 55 to 65% of your calorie intake is carbohydrate based, you should have enough storage in your body for 60 to 90 minutes of exercise. So that should be plenty to get in a good workout at the gym or your home gym, even to go for, a run or a hike for 45 minutes, half hour, or 45 minutes or an hour, maybe even longer. So you should have that available just in our fuel tank, again, in our liver and our muscles. So the thing to think about is that, and to be careful of, is if you are trying to lose weight, if you're trying to cut calories, you may actually be sacrificing some of that storage that you have. So we need to be really thoughtful to make sure that you have at least, again, 55 to 65% carbohydrate in your calorie mix to make sure that your fuel levels are topped off. So some of the research will show that you should have between 8 and 10 kilograms of 8 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight. So there's a little bit of math there for you to kind of think through. But generally, a balanced diet should provide you all that you're ever really going to need. And on those times when you feel like, or you have a planned event where you're going to go on a big hike, or you're going to spend the day up at the mountain skiing, go for a longer run, if those events are atypical for you, where you're going to need a little bit more energy, a little bit more fuel, one of the easiest things you can do, and really a smart thing to do for your body overall, would be to take a day, maybe even 2 days rest before that more challenging event. And what those couple days off are going to do is let your muscles recover from whatever training you've been doing. But as long as your diet stays the same and you're not going to be burning extra carbohydrates, that's going to let your body kind of start to store some of those extra carbohydrates again in your muscles to have it available for when you go on that long hike or that run around the lake or whatever you're going to do. So think about a rest day or so, top off those carbohydrate stores. And last but not least, there are plenty of drinks out there that you can use to supplement when you are doing, and you should be supplementing if you really are going to be doing a cardiovascular activity for an hour or more. You're looking at about 6 to 8% carbohydrate in a drink. There's plenty of them out there, so it's worth reading the labels to make sure you're not getting a bunch of extra caffeine or extra just added sugars, which may give you a quick spike, but then you're going to potentially crash after that. But for one of my favorite, you've heard me talk about this brand, Clean Athlete, they have a hydration mix that is 6% carbohydrate, which I've used for a long time. It's simple. There's no frills, no additives and nonsense in there, but really read labels. Take-home message is going to be, if you're going to go for a long cardiovascular event, take a day off before, continue your regular diet, top off your carbohydrate stores. Some of you have already done some nutrition diaries, so really you're looking at 55% up to even 65% of carbohydrate intake as a percentage of your overall carbohydrate, fat, and protein. And last but not least, have a drink available, a carbohydrate drink available if you're going to be really indulging and getting out for hiking for an hour or more, skiing for an hour or more, because you are going to burn through your fuel. And the last thing you want to do is start to run out of energy and pay the consequences of not being topped off. So with that, get out there, enjoy the outdoors, go for a hike, fuel yourself well. If you have any questions, anything specific you want me to cover, like carbohydrates, please send me a message. I'm happy to do that. And until then, stay healthy, go have some fun.